Let me introduce today's presenter. Katarina Schmidt is an accredited genealogist specializing in Polish research. After completing internships through Family Search in Warsaw, Poland, and at the Family Search Library, she has worked professionally as a technical historical records linguist, and now works at the Family Search Library as a full-time Slavic specialist. We will now turn the time over to Katarina.
Thank you, Charlotta. I will go ahead and share my screen. Thank you all for coming today. I hope you're excited to talk about and learn more about how to use Meyer's Gazetteer. Present. Okay. My objective today is to help you understand the basics of what a gazetteer is, which will help you know when in your research you can turn to Meyer's Gazetteer, what step you might want to go to Meyer's Gazetteer. We'll also talk a lot about how to use and navigate the different features of the website, as well as how to locate your ancestor's hometown and understand the provided information on the website. Meyer's Gazetteer is an amazing tool that can help you see your ancestor's hometown on a historical map. It can help you identify where your ancestors attended church, and so many other great pieces of information. Here are just a few steps for where to look to find your ancestor's town name, as this is the first step that you need in your research. The most common places to look for this information are on immigration documents, such as passenger lists, citizenship and naturalization records, border crossings and passports. And then there's also family information. So you can try talking with family members and looking in any old letters or pictures for the mention of a town name. Since the German Empire encompassed parts of many modern countries, you will also want to look for additional clues, like their spoken language or ethnicity, such as Polish and Prussian to indicate the Prussian partition of Poland, or a mention of speaking Yiddish to indicate their religion as Jewish. There may also be multiple locations with the same name, so make note of any additional place mentions, like documents that list Bavaria or memories of I think Grandma said she was from the Posen region. These can all be helpful clues to help you identify the correct location for your ancestors. So we've talked a little about the things a gazetteer can do, but what exactly is a gazetteer? A gazetteer is a place name dictionary for a specific geographical area that covers helpful information about all of the villages, farms, towns, cities, and other places within a certain geographical boundary. It may also list many places that are too small to even appear on a map. While all gazetteers are different and the information they contain will vary, for many gazetteers, each entry can typically include the name and type of a location, such as a village or a city. It'll also tell you the jurisdictions that it belongs to, which importantly will tell you where to find certain record types, like civil registration or military records. And it may give you information about where the nearest churches are located, which again can be helpful for finding those religious records. For finding records in the German Empire, there are a few jurisdictions that you'll want to be aware of. So I've included this chart both in our presentation here as well as in the handout, but it talks about the different jurisdictions that we have. So military district, court district, civil registration office, and church parish, and what terms you're going to want to look for that will be listed on Meyer's Gazetteer, and then the different record types that are associated with them. So don't feel like you have to take notes about this right now, since it is in the handout as well. For more information on the many different types of records for the German Empire, you can visit the German Empire genealogy page on the Family Search Research Wiki. Among the gazetteers available for German Empire research, Meyer's Gazetteer specifically is the most comprehensive gazetteer for the German Empire, encompassing the former Prussian partition of Poland and parts of modern-day Denmark, France, Belgium, Czechia, and Lithuania. Meyer's Gazetteer began as a physical book published in 1912 and has since been adapted into an online searchable database found at www.meyersgaz.org. For this webinar, we will be focusing on the web version of Meyer's Gazetteer, but there's more information available online on the Family Search Research Wiki about how to use the physical copy of Meyer's Gazetteer. For now, let's head over to the website. Feel free to follow along if you would like to, but definitely don't feel like you have to. I'll have a practice for you guys to try at the end. Okay. Oh, let's try that again. So when you first navigate to Meyer's Gazetteer, it's required that you type in www.meyersgazetteer the first time that you go. And then every subsequent time after that, you'll only need to type in meyersgazetteer.org. Okay. So this is the main page of the Meyer's Gazetteer. At the top, we have the Gazetteer section, and we have the Help section. If we go to this Help section, it has instructions for how to use the Gazetteer, how to use the website, including how to search, explanations of different pages of an entry, as well as a link here at the bottom. Let's scroll down. So if you come down here to the bottom, there is a link to the Family Search Wiki abbreviation table for Meyer's Gazetteer. So if you come across an abbreviation that you don't understand or that isn't explained on the website, you can come to this abbreviation table and search for it there. Going back to the main Gazetteer search page, this is how you access all of the information that is within Meyer's Gazetteer. So below this search box, we have an explanation of how to use what is called a wildcard. It can be helpful if you aren't sure on the exact spelling of a place. So the wildcard that Meyer's Gazetteer uses is an asterisk, which can be used to replace any number of characters at the end of a word, at the beginning of the word, or in the middle of the word. So if you feel pretty confident on the first chunk of a word, then you could try entering in, like in this example, this first part that you feel confident on, and then an asterisk followed by it. And it will pull up anything that has that starts with KAI and has words, or I'm sorry, has letters following it. So let's try going to a location. The location that I want to take us to is a place called Kieritz, but let's use an asterisk to replace the first vowel, since it sounds like it could be either an I or a Y. So we'll do K asterisk RITZ, and then you press enter on your keyboard. As we scroll through these options, you can see we have quite a few results. All of the results start with a K because of the wild card. And so we're ending up with a few locations that start with K and end with Ritz. But some of these are also 2 words long. Including the asterisk allows for spaces in between your words, as well as just single words that have multiple letters after the asterisk. I know that the Kieritz we are looking for is in the region of Prussia and the province of Pomerania. So since we have so many results, we can filter by region up here at the top. So we want this Prussia-Pommern region. And now we have a much smaller list, and we have our Kiritz location. So in order to access the information about this location, you just click on its name in blue. This is what a typical entry will look like. You'll have the name and its identifying districts listed here at the top. And looking at the information on the main entry page, so you can tell which tab you're on by which word is bolded. So we're on the entry page. And we have a picture right here of the locations entry in the print version of Meyer's Gazetteer. While most genealogically significant information will be listed on the website, so will have been abstracted from the print version, there is the option to view the original by clicking on this. Well, it's presented here initially, and then if you want to see more information or you want to interact with it specifically, you could click on this and it will pull up a new tab with the PDF entry of the whole page that Kiritz is on. Or if you wanted to see the entries that are before and after Kiritz in the Gazetteer, you can click on this Show Previous and Next Entry, and it will display them here. For this particular example, it was helpful to see the before and after, as our entry didn't even list the name Kiritz in it. But pulling it up like this, we can see that there are two Kiritz, and so this was the second one, and which was why the name Kiritz wasn't displayed. On the right side here is where we will get the information about the different jurisdictions for this location. And then below this section is the details section, which will help explain the above abbreviations. So occasionally there will be an abbreviation that isn't explained in the details section. So then that's when it would be a good time to go back to the help tab and click on that abbreviation guide. But the majority of the abbreviations here are explained below. So we get the volume and page number, which corresponds to the physical print version. And then the next piece of information we get is the type, which is listed below. So it says type, dom, Kiritz is a dominium or a state-owned estate. So since most of the abbreviations are explained in this section below, you can come right to the details section and read through the explanations instead of jumping back and forth between the two, as you're getting more familiar with the different types of jurisdictions. So we have type, we have level 1, which shows which kingdom or state the place is located in. So Kiritz is located in Prussia. And then we get the province, and the province is Pomerania. So both of these pieces of information are ones that can be helpful in identifying or in helping you identify that you have the right place. Because if you know that that your ancestors were from the western side of Germany and nowhere near Pomerania, then this would be a good indication that you maybe don't have the correct location. Coming down a little bit lower, we have information about the Regierungsbezirk, saying that it's in Stettin. And then we have information about the lower district court, which is, as we saw in our presentation, where you might find some helpful court records. And in this BKDO, or Bezirkskommando, is the district military command. So whenever it says a location like Stettin, it's saying that for this one, the district military command for Kiritz was in Stettin. So you would need to go to the district military command in Stettin in order to find any military records for Kiritz. And then we have this Kreis telling us another government district as Randov. And then we come down to this Standesamt, or the Civil Registration Office, which is in Grambov. And this one is a particularly helpful one for genealogical research, as this is where you would be able to find civil registration records, which would include your birth, marriage, and death information. And so instead of when you're searching for these records, instead of searching for Kiritz, you would want to search for Grambov. So lots of great information on this page, and lots of great information telling you kind of where you would go next to find those government records. Coming back over to the left, we have a map, and when we searched for this place, knowing the region it was in helped narrow down our options, and looking at the map can also help confirm you've found the right place. So like we said, if we know that our location is right on the border between modern day Poland and Germany, then looking down at this map can help confirm that we're in the right spot. If you click on the map, it will take you to the Map tab. So you can click on the map, or you can click on the word map in this navigation pane at the top. Once you're here, you can toggle between this historical map and a modern map. This can be helpful, as sometimes names might have changed between the historical and the modern map. Sometimes countries have even changed, or like in this case, maybe the place no longer exists. So there's a lot of good information you can get from the historical and the modern. And there's also some really helpful filters that you can add to your map. This is done by hovering your mouse over the toggle historical map button. So don't click on it, just hover your mouse over it, and then select the options of information you'd like to see. So this first box is the jurisdictions for Kiritz. So these jurisdictions we have up here. If you click on it, it will add blue pins with the letter J on it. So you can zoom out and it'll show you these jurisdictions that it has. And you can also add information like surrounding Standesamts, Catholic and Protestant and Jewish religious locations as well. Which this can be helpful if you don't know exactly what parish your ancestors would have attended. You can see which ones are closest nearby. So for Catholic locations, we don't have many, if any, showing up nearby. But we do have a lot of Protestant locations. And so Kiritz appears to be pretty central to a lot of these locations. And so from this, we still wouldn't exactly know where our Protestant ancestors would have gone. So our next tab, the ecclesiastical tab, can tell us a little bit more. So this tab is here to help you identify which religious location your ancestors would have attended, and thus indicate where their church records would be. Many entries will have the Catholic parish and Protestant parish identified here at the top of the page, but this feature is something that the creators of the website are in the process of adding. So if you don't see it now, you should see it at some point in the future. If your location doesn't have this included, then you can come down here and look at this information included below. So we have place names listed here on the left, followed by their distance from our location. So Nadrensi and Sonnenberg are both 2 miles away from Kiritz, and they both have a Protestant parish located in them. This piece of information at the top is telling us right now that the Protestant parish is Sonnenberg, which makes sense as it is 2 miles away. But it is important to note that these are ranked, these are ordered alphabetically. So it's not necessarily the first one that you see that's going to be the correct parish. And so if you don't have this information here, you might have to try looking in both of these. Or if you look at the map, you can see, is there a river separating my location from one of these places? And you can try and see and pick up some clues as to which might be the correct location. Fortunately for this one, there are 2 locations that are pretty close. So if you did need to go search in both, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be that taxing of an endeavor. The next tab that we have at the top is the related tab. But let's use a different location as our example. So if you want to search for a new location, you can click on the Gazetteer tab at the top to go back to that main page, or you can type the location in the search box up here. So we are going to go to Alma, and we're going to come and click on this related tab. So here we will find other entries that reference Alma in different capacities. So in these entries, Alma is referenced as the AG or the Amtsgericht. And so if we click on this, we see all of the different locations where Alma is referenced as the Amtsgericht or the lower court. So quite a few entries all have Alma listed. Wow, more than I remembered. And if we scroll down, we have Alma being listed as the Standesamt, and then entries where Alma is referenced as C. So here, let's close that one. So C locations are locations that are dependent on Alma and should be consulted for and have and are ones where Alma should be consulted for additional information. So for example, if we go to this location, it's instead of having specific details about its jurisdiction or further information, it has C instead, and then it would direct you to the page we were just on, to Alma, and you would use these as your jurisdictional information for that specific location. The last tab that we have at the top here is the feedback tab. So if you see something incorrect, they would like for you to share that feedback with them. And on their on the help page, it also talks about how if you want to share feedback on how you've used this resource, or if you have any ideas for how it could be improved, that's another great way to use this feedback tab. So you would just input your name, or I'm sorry, your email, your name, and any comment that you have. So now that we have the basics laid out, I want to walk through a few examples together. So if we come back here to our presentation, oh, I want to try finding this location of Bernshof. So this is again in the Pommern location of Prussia, and we can see the name here on the map. And so we're gonna try and find it using some wildcards. And on our handout, I've also included some tips for how to search, because sometimes we'll see letters that are interchangeable, and that can contribute to having a difficult time searching for things on Meyer's Gazetteer. So we'll come back here. We'll come back to our Gazetteer page. So we have our wildcard explanation here as a good reminder. And the location spelled on as it was spelled on the map was Bernd, Berndtshf, Bernshoff. When we search for it, we don't come up with anything. So let's try adding a couple wildcards in there. Some letters that might be interchangeable, maybe this D and this T, that kind of burnt sound. Maybe we remove both of those and add an asterisk in there. And let's see what we get with Bernshoff. Maybe this E, sometimes replacing vowels can be really helpful to see if we get other vowels showing up. So if we try that, it looks like we're getting some results. And since we have this filter results by region here, we can do that filter by Prussia and Pommern. And then we do get a Bernshoff. So it looks like in this entry, or in the Meyer's Gazetteer entry, the T has been removed from here. So in this example of Bernshoff, we also see that this is referenced as a C location, and that we should see that we should go to Plaith Palm to see more information about Bernshoff. But it isn't hyperlinked right now. So we can try copying it. We'll probably do this. We'll try copying Plaith so we can look it up and see what information we have about Bernshoff. And here we have Plaith Palm. And so then we can come here and see this. If we go to the related tab on Plaith Palm and we click on C, we can still see that Bernshoff is not listed as a related C location. And so this is a great example of when you might want to provide some feedback, saying that that Plaith Palm is not connected with Bernshoff as it should be. But that's I have already submitted this for feedback, so don't feel like you should go rush and do this, because hopefully they've received that message and they'll get that changed. Let's try another example. We have the location of Bilchev, and this is how it's spelled on the map. And we know that it is in Ostrowo, Posen, Prussia, since it's so close to this location of Latowitz. So we'll try searching for that again. Go back to Gazetteer page to remember. And let's try removing some vowels and consonants to see if we can capture the correct location. So Biltschew. Some sounds that that might have changed or might have additional letters in between. Maybe we have something here, Biltchev, or maybe we try removing this I and see what we get. Okay, we're still not getting anything with this. So we can try, maybe we remove the SCH and see if we get anything with that. Okay, that's still not working. Feel like we're going a little bit back to the drawing board. Let's try removing our T. Okay, it looks like it's in Ostrowo, in Posen, Prussia. This looks like the correct location. And when we click on it, we can look at our map to see if it looks right. Yep. So on the map, it's listed as Biltchev. This is the one near Latowitz. So we know we're in the right place. And if we toggle to the current map, it looks like it's using the present day Polish name as the name for the entry. And if we come back to the entry, we notice that this isn't an error on the on the website. This isn't something that was incorrectly put in as Bilchev. Um, but on the physical Meyer's Gazetteer book, it was recorded as Bilchev with the Polish name rather than with the German name. So those are some of the fun things you might encounter with your research, and why using the asterisks can be really helpful in finding the right location. Um, so coming back, I have one more place for you to try. And I'll leave this page up and give you a couple minutes if you want to try searching for this location. So Anna Engelhardt was born in N. Otterbach in Germany. So if you had a record and you saw that she listed her location as N. Otterbach, um, how would you then go from N. Otterbach to finding a location on Meyer's Gazetteer? So pull up www.meyersgaz.org and try searching for N. Otterbach. And I'll give you a couple minutes and then we'll come back and talk about that. How's everyone doing? Do we need a little more time, or do we want to start walking through it? If anyone wants to speak for the group. Okay, let's start walking through it then. So again, we're looking for N. Otterbach. And if we come back to our gazetteer, some of the important things that we might try thinking about with N. Otterbach is maybe what could that N be at the beginning? There are a couple common modifiers that might be at the beginning of a German location, such as Klein, Alt, Nieder, Oder, Neu, and Stadt towards the end of the location. And so including an asterisk after the N can help us find locations that might be Nieder or locations that might be Neu. So if we do N asterisk, and we know we have Otterbach. And let's see. So doing that, we don't get anything, but we might also try seeing if maybe there's a double T in our location. So let's try with this with Nieder Otterbach. Let's try replacing this with an asterisk in case maybe instead of it being a T, maybe it's a D, since T and D are common letter substitutions. And let's see, maybe we'll remove the ER to see if maybe there's something like Ottersbach or something. So let's see what we get. We're getting a lot, and thankfully our wildcard is helping us see both words that start with Neu and Nieder, and both locations that have Nieder as a separate word, as well as Nieder as a word as a modifier combined with the location itself. So we had our location as Bayern. So we can come up here and filter our results to Bayern. But before we do that, I wanted to mention something that's in the handout that we haven't talked about yet. If you, oh, it's not showing up. If we go back a page, and sometimes when you search for a location, if no results are coming up, there will be a link at the bottom that you can click that says search using sounds like. So there's a screenshot of that in the handout that you can use, and then it will use a different way of searching that will search for locations that might sound like your location, because sometimes the differences and changes between specific letters can be pretty complicated, and using a sounds like search can help you find a location when using asterisks might not be able to find it. So we're back searching, knowing that maybe there's a space between or not a space, knowing that maybe there's double letters or possibly it's a T. And so we'll search and filter by Bayern. And we're still getting some results, but we do get a Nieder Otterbach. Did anybody have any questions about that? This was our last case study that I wanted to kind of show how helpful the asterisks can be. So I'd love to open this up to any questions that we might have.
That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Katarina.
Thanks,
As
Charlotte. Of course.
mentioned, we'll now have some time to answer any questions. You feel free to type those into the chat. We can see those from the various platforms. If you type them into your chat, we'll see them here. Before we get to the questions, just a few things to mention. The next class taught by the Family Search Library will be using the Family Search catalog. That will be taught this Thursday, October 10th at 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. You can view any upcoming webinars at the Family Search Library classes and webinars page. And finally, we would also love to get your feedback on this presentation. Please fill out the survey. I will put the link to the survey in the comments section. And now again, if you have any questions regarding understanding your ancestor's hometown using Meyer's Gazetteer, feel free to post those in the chat. In just a moment, if we don't have any come through yet, I will go ahead and read some of the questions that we received throughout the course of the class. All right, so some questions we've received throughout the course of your presentation, Katarina. We have had a couple of questions regarding the historical map that's included. Patricia from StreamYard, as well as, I believe, Sharon later from Facebook, both asked regarding the historical map. And if you go to the home page of Meyer's Gaz, then click on the About section, actually, at the very top right, if you go back to Gazetteer. The little About button there. It explains that the historical map images are from the David Rumsey map collection, and if you click on that link, it will take you to a page with quite a bit of information regarding the map of the German Empire. So for anybody who's interested in that, go to Meyer's Gaz, click on About on the top right, and then click on the link to the David Rumsey map collection. Sharon from Facebook also mentioned that she is just double checking her understanding when she looks at the ecclesiastical records. And it says a town name followed by the abbreviation KR, period, and then another location. She just wants to verify that the KR means Kreis as a jurisdictional level.
Yes, that's correct. The KR abbreviation will mean Kreis. And so we could go check that also at the abbreviation table on the research wiki. And then you could try like Control F and search for KR. And we might get a few, but if you scroll down to where we would find our Ks, KR abbreviation is Kreis. And there's also like there's a KRH and a KRST, but this one KRST refers to capital city of a Kreis, and then this one refers to a government district or county office, but still referring to that that county, that Kreis.
Perfect, thank you. And then Diane from StreamYard asks, the results are in German. Many of us don't read German, so how do we translate this information to English?
So I think using this abbreviation chart will be really helpful, as most of the information that's going to be on the page. So take our Nieder Otterbach, for example. While we do have some information like these, let's see, like Dorf and Regierungsbezirk, while they are in German, they are explained in English. But if you're referring to the print version of Meyer's Gazetteer and that being in German, that's something that there are how-to guides on Family Search about how to use the print version, and then there the key terms that you can use to help translate it from German into English.
Thank you. And then another question regarding the maps. Patricia from StreamYard asks, are the maps useful for dates prior to the German Empire?
That's a good question. So these maps, we go back to our main page and About, from the David Rumsey collection, you can read about when these maps were made. So this one was made in 1893. So before the German Empire, as that's what your question was talking about, these specific maps are since they're from 1893 are specific to that time period. But there are other historical maps online that you could use to, if you wanted to see more information from different time periods. So another good map resource is called Arcana Maps, which I can post in the chat as well. That can be helpful with more historical things at different times. And Family Search also has some information on how to use Arcana Maps as well.
Thank you. That is another wonderful website. Absolutely. Just a note regarding the sounds like search you brought up earlier, Katerina. So for anyone who's curious about that one, if you use the asterisks, which are absolutely fantastic, then you will not get the sounds like search option. But if you type in a place name without any asterisks, unless the website is down because everyone's using it at the same time.
Yeah, it might be.
It might be crashing a little bit. Yeah, let's try from this one. There we go. Now if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, so you see it says, can't find what you're looking for, try viewing sounds like search results. So that comes up if you type in a town name without any asterisks. Otherwise, it can't quite figure out, well, what would sound like this, because we have asterisks. That's the wildcards. So that's another helpful feature. Jeffrey from StreamYard earlier asked, what is the date of the Gazetteer? And Bearable responded in the chat, and she said the date is 1912. So the Meyer's Gazetteer, the date is 1912. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat. If anybody has any final questions, please feel free to post them. There was a comment from Sharon on Facebook. She wrote, none of the wildcards worked for my location in Moselle, in France, in the Alsace-Lorraine region. But I went to the wiki and lifted the German spelling, and there it was. So yeah, definitely watch out for that. If you have a place name that's on a border where it may be listed in multiple languages, you'll want to look for the German version of the place name, usually. But then, of course, Katarina did show one where it showed up in the Polish. So
by and large, it's going to be the German names that it's recorded under, but you will occasionally have a few slip through that might trip you up. But try and find that German name, and that was a great way going to the wiki to pull the name, and you can also try using like something like Arcana Maps, where you can search using the modern day location, and then you can see how that was spelled on a historical map, and that can help give you the German name to plug in here.
Definitely. And just a quick note as well, Katarina mentioned earlier, you mentioned regarding spaces, sometimes there's a space in the middle of a place name. A place name could be one word, two words. If you are searching, if you're performing a search in Meyer's Gaz, and especially if you copy and paste a place name, oftentimes you'll accidentally copy a space following it, and Meyer's Gaz cannot handle that. So if you type in Neustadt space, for example, or Kniestadt space, it says there's no results because it's actually searching. You can see it says these are search results for Kniestadt space, and there is no such place. It's without the space. So on Meyer's Gaz, the space is a character. Yes, Sharon from Facebook is asking for the link in the chat. I'm assuming that you're asking regarding the Arcanum link. Katarina has posted that in the chat. I'll post it as well in case it's not coming through on all the platforms. This is the Arcanum Maps link where you can look up a lot of historical maps for different regions in the world. You're very welcome. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. So thank you for joining all of us at the Family Search Library webinar today.